John Savage all day.
Picture me rolling in the drop top with two plastic. Picture me rolling in the drop top with two Glocks to give a nigga that Tupac treatment. Picture me rolling in the drop top with two Glocks to give a nigga that Tupac treatment. Life is hard, it'll never be easy. Roll one, sometimes it helps ease me. Niggas claim they want the smoke till they see me. So many teams I'm riding around yelling free me. Picture me rolling with two dots and they tops off. Faces full of white kids that they get dropped off. Had to think about helping me get them rocks off. Then pulling off faster than I did with the condom off. I'm a man that gets around like you heard the news. I'm steady making plays like I'm calling all the bulls. If it's time to hit the lick, I'm calling all the goons. Then we at your door like the landlord when his rent is due. Should be TDE cause I'm a top dog. While niggas steady biting these flows, they got locked jaw. Steady climbing up the range, y'all getting knocked off. I'm too real to be surrounded by some knockoffs. Picture me rolling in the drop top with two blocks to give a nigga that Tupac treatment. Picture me rolling in the drop top with two blocks to give a nigga that Tupac treatment. Life is hard, it'll never be easy. Roll one, sometimes it helps ease me. Niggas claim they want the smoke till they see me. So many teams I'm riding around yelling free. To make long story short, you got an annotator. Fell from the most like down to the most hated. I do more caps up in the air than people graduate, and they try to diss on me and leave me amputated. We all know that it's not happening. They threw Daniel back on the mic. I had to snap again, send the beats back up to God. It's time to pray, man. Steady fighting all these demons. My angel lets me sin. Unless my angel was a demon from the start that takes form of an angel, but they eyes stay dark. Evil ass smile, hellfire in their heart. Whatever wrong that happened to me is stay apart. Separate the weak from the strong, that's my mission. I'm blind to all of your haters, my eyes missing. Don't step foot in the stew, that's my kitchen. All y'all whining and crying to stop bitching. Picture me rolling in the drop top with two blocks to give a nigga that Tupac treatment. Picture me rolling in the drop top with two blocks to give a nigga that Tupac treatment. Life is hard, it'll never be easy. Roll one, sometimes it helps ease me. Niggas claim they want smoke till they see me. So many chains I'm riding around yelling free me. Picture me rolling in the drop top with two blocks to give a nigga that Tupac treatment. Picture me rolling in the drop top with two blocks to give a nigga that Tupac treatment. Life is hard, it'll never be easy. Roll one, sometimes it helps ease me. Niggas claim they want smoke till they see me. So many chains I'm riding around yelling free me. Yeah, they free me. RP to the GOAT, Pac, Mission.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. It's Wednesday, 1st of May, hump day for a lot of people that's at work or heading to work. But let's just get into this thing, right? We're going to talk about manifest. But most of you are familiar with the word manifestation, right? So here we go. You know, the meaning of manifest is to show something clearly through signs or actions. And it also can mean, it also adds to make something happen by imagining it and consciously thinking that it will happen, right? Petty Vision, what's going on? But yeah, so we're just gonna like jump into this thing, right? So in order to manifest something, right, there has to be three things involved in my opinion, right? So you have to have a vision, You have to have the intent. Miss T, good morning. You have to have the intent, and you must have the consistency in order to have your manifestation atmosphere. Good morning. To have your manifestation come to fruition, right? And for example, let's just go with I want to be happy, right? That's your vision, right? So now you have to consistently work with the intent of making yourself happy. That means you got to go in yourself, find out what's wrong with you. You have to find out, you know, what's holding you back from being happy, right? And when that aim was met, the aim is to find out what's wrong. The goal is to make sure that you remove it. And once you do all that, you have your manifestation, right? So what I'm trying to say is as simple as this. In scripture points, right? In scripture, they say everything is the three, right? You got your Trinity. Oh, you got me on both sides? Cool. Good morning, word. You have your Trinity, right? Even in this situation, I believe there's a Trinity. There's a vision, there's a intent, and there's consistency. However you want to align it, it's still three things that must go into form. It must be three things that's working together in order for these things to happen, right? And when it happens, you can feel the change, you can see the change, you will be witnessing the change, right? And when that occurs, you understand that, hey, this thing, I can do all things, right? The problem with a lot of us is that, we are so conformed of the ways of the world that we have so much like self-doubt of our actions. We have so much doubt that we can do all things, right? But if you go into do the things that you need to do, you must understand who you are and how much strength that you actually have, right? If I always tell people all the time, if you write the vision and make it plain, you will be able to have a map to where you need to go. And so a lot of the times we are trying to manifest things without one of the three entities, whether it's the vision, whether it's the consistency, or whether it's the intent. We are doing things without, we are trying to manifest things without one of the three things. We are not allowing it to work together, right? We try to manifest the happiness, but we are in so much pain that we're not removing all said pain out of the storehouse, right? Everything is within us. We all have that understanding. So as long as we have that understanding, we must also understand that the answer to is within you. You know, we a lot of us read scriptures, a lot of us do certain things to get our minds focused on whatever we're trying to manifest. But I'm gonna stick with the happy part, the happy example. So now that you know, oh man, we had a loss in the family. Oh man, our bill is coming up. Oh man, my kid ain't doing so well in school. Whatever the situation is, we have we have the power to manifest the opposite of what's going on in our lives. So many people just stick with the negative parts of manifestation because it's so much easier to do. Life is not easy. We all understand that. We have given ourselves time to the wrong entities, to the wrong people, to the wrong things. And we've seen the manifestation of it, right? You know, if you in the streets, you gave so much time to the streets, 9 times out of 10, you saw something crazy happen out there in the streets. You probably saw somebody, pass on the lives. You probably saw somebody go to jail. You probably saw somebody be assaulted. You probably heard about somebody being awed in the streets. It's a lot of things that have manifest in your negative aspects. So now we have to turn it around and put it into a positive or an encouraging mark, right? Hey, Meek, and she's my perfect example. Meek, you came right on time, right? I'm gonna use Meek real quick, right? So Meek had a vision to get up out of her past town, and she moved to a present town. right? And she still wanted to do what she did in her old town, which was, you know, doing hair because she's a short hair specialist, right? So when she got there, things that, was blocking her, was stopping her from doing what she needed to do. You know what I mean? Like she had to she got a job that, she didn't really want, but she understood that she had to do it in the meantime, right? But she still had the vision and the intent of doing what she does best. So now she worked on herself. She worked on herself. She got situated in her home. She got situated. She added something positive into her life. I'm gonna leave it right there. But come around to find out now that she had her aim, which was to do hair, she met her goal. Now she has manifested the fact that now she's getting ready to start doing hair in her new town, in her new state. And she did that by being consistent, keeping her vision, and with the intent of understanding that I am going to complete my goal. And she has done that. You understand what I'm saying? So that's how we do manage. That's how you manifest. That's how the manifestation comes into each and every one of our lives. There are steps, there are goals, there are avenues that you must go through in order for you to manifest something in your life. And she took her Trinity, which was her vision, which was her intent, and which was her consistency, and she made it all work in her favor. And that's all we need to do to go forward, whatever it is. You know, I'm still waiting for my guy Atmosphere to start his channel, but he has his vision, he has his intent, and he is becoming consistent with it. And soon it will come to be that Atmosphere will have his own channel. And these are the things that I'm saying. We have to work those things in order, right? We have to do those things. We written the vision. We made it plain. We made sure that all of these things come into existence. It's a vision that's being appointed to us in the time. It may not come on your time, but it will come in time nonetheless, because we have to have patience as well in order to have these things done. We will be attacked. We will be misconstrued. We will be hated upon. But that's the way of the world. That's why the Bible always tells us be of the world, but not in be in the world, but not of the world. Meaning we have to be here, but we don't have to follow everybody else's suit. We don't have to follow everybody else's lead. And lately, because I observe very well, there's a lot of depression going on. There's a lot of sadness going on, and it's blocking. It has become an eclipse in our manifestation because we have allowed this sadness, this misery, to get into block the light that we are all a part of, or we are all supposed to be shining with. But because these things do happen, it gets in the way. Nobody ever said manifestation would be easy like Sunday morning. We just made it look that way a lot of the time because we so consistent in acting and working on what we do the best, because that's what we want. When you want that house, you go out there, you got the vision of your house. You make them, your intent is to have a family in said house. And then your consistency is to work for your money. Good morning, Shay. Right? So when you do all of those things, it comes to fruition. But that's why we have, like I said earlier, we don't have to be of the world. We just have to be in it. We can do it step by step. We can do it in order to make this to manifest. We have to do those steps. If we don't do those steps, if one little inkling falls out of line, we have to not start all over, but we have to be paused. We have to be stopped because everything is not going the way that we want it to go. So in order to manifest, those three must work together, right? It's a reason why I did these lives before this, but didn't understand how they would all connect. And now I'm seeing how it connects, because without any of those, a manifestation could never happen. If you are in doom and gloom, you can't just all of a sudden say, I'm happy, and that's it. No, you may get like a momentary glitch. You need to be motivated. You need to understand that your intention should motivate you to your goal of manifesting whatever it is that you have in your mind. If you want to be happy, you have to manifest the fact that You have to motivate yourself to understand that this doubt, this misery, this sadness cannot stop me. It's gonna move. It's gonna be removed from the storehouse. You know, we have a lot of things in our storehouses, but not understanding what they are actually for. We have to use them in order to we have to use them in order to know what they are. And if we don't use it, we will lose it. So if you don't understand that you are a person of encouragement, you will lose that. If you don't understand that you are a person with great confidence, you will lose your confidence. If you don't use it, you will lose it. And that's how it is when you try to manifest something. If you're not using everything that you have at your uh if you don't use what you have, you lose what you got. And that's just pretty much how it goes, right? You know, I want to be in love. In order to be in love, you got to understand what love is. You got to understand what it takes, and you have to motivate yourself to be the person to love. If you don't have that, you will just be, you will just love yourself till the end of time. We have to understand what these things are. We got to know what it is. You got to put it into perspective what exactly you want to manifest. If you want to be rich, you got to go on ahead and understand what motivates a rich person. You have to understand what they sacrifice, what they giving up, what their intent is to be rich, not just to have money, because you can get to manifest it, but it'll stay there for a short amount of time, all because you don't understand that you have to continue to work at it once you get it. It's not just gonna fall out the sky. This is not the Old Testament, and there's no manna falling out of the sky for us. We have to work. The Bible says, "Work while it's day, for when it's night, no man shall work." Meaning, simply means you got to put in the work. That's why faith without works is dead. If you don't have the work in your faith, you're just not going to work. And if you have faith without works, that definitely is not going to work. It all must work together. And so too must it work when you are trying to manifest something. If you are trying to find a newness in yourself, you have to remove the oldness. How do you do that? You have to have the intention like, yo, it's not going to keep me in bondage any longer. You know what I mean? That's one thing about me, right? I love reading Bible. I love reading scripture because it may not mean the same for everybody, but it'll give me the tools that I need to go forward. I know, right? We understand that religion is a hot topic. It's a touchy situation. But if you apply what you read every day to yourself, it'll make you a stronger person. You know what I mean? Good morning, Shay. That's the reason why Shay could be so prominent in her words, because she understands that if she's applying what she reads every day into her life, it'll come out like the seed, and it'll blossom into good fruit. That's the fruition that she has. That's what she's trying to manifest, and then her manifestation is coming true. Now she is living a peaceful life when she removed all the chaos out of her life, because she followed those three steps. She saw her vision to have peace. She had the intent of having it, and her consistent working of removing all the chaos out of her life is allowing her to say, you know what? I am at peace. I am at joy. I am where I am. Right? We have to understand I am really works. It's not just a name that's in the Bible. It really works. If you say I am, it'll encourage you to keep going forward in your manifestation stages, right? There's a lot of us that just skipping stages. There's a lot of us just saying, you know what? I don't want to be alone, and then turn around and be with somebody that makes you feel alone, even though you're with a person, because we don't have the intention. We don't have the consistency of making the intention be known to ourselves. All right, I'm here. I don't want to lose. That's why a lot of us stay in miserable situations. That's why a lot of us have stayed in abusive relationships. That's why a lot of us have stayed at that lousy, crummy job, all because we are afraid to lose. If you are afraid to lose, you can never manifest a winning situation for yourself, because you have to understand, in order to be great, in order to be better, you must remove yourself from those lousy and poor situations. You have to do the work. We can't do like I could love you, but I should never love you more than you love yourself. You understand? It's not a winning situation. You can't manifest love that way because if you don't see it in yourself, you'll never believe it in yourself. Going back to faith plus works is dead. If you don't have faith the size of the mustard seed, it'll never grow nowhere. It will never blossom into something because you'll never have the light or the water to feed it. And these are the things that we have to understand going forward. It's just it's just it's been a crazy situation one after another when you can't allow yourself to manifest something. It's always something that's blocking your light. It's always something blocking you from manifesting. We all have to sit down, take our time, examine ourselves, and find out what is blocking us from getting to manifest what it is that we truly, truly want. I understand that people just like to talk, they don't like the action, but that's not how this works. You have to put action in. If you don't put no work in, you cannot get paid. We are not able to be self-employed in our manifestations right now. We have to put in the work. That's why a lot of us we pick each other brain because we are using the idea of someone else in order to build up the intention and the motivation to manifest things in our lives. It's not that we must have. It's just that we need each other in order to process some things some of the time. What good is wisdom without sharing it with somebody? What good is understanding if you're not willing to help somebody understand a situation, right? And so too, this is why we are all here. This is why we all became content creators or influencers. I like influencers. I don't want, because the content we create is not really for us, but it's for people to be influenced that, hey, there's a right way to go, or we can go the other way, right? We all are here with that same situation, with that same understanding. And that's what, if I'm here to manifest, encouragement, I need to understand how to encourage somebody. Well, okay, what's the goal? The goal is to encourage somebody, right? Here's the intent. The intent is to pick somebody up from a sad situation. Okay, now I got to be consistent. I have to give the words, the understanding and the tutelage for you to be encouraged. I can't just sit there and say, all right, abracadabra, just say a bunch of words and it comes to be. I can't do that because if I do that, it's not going to reach you, right? It's like planting a seed on cement. It can't grow because it's already out. There's nothing for it to grasp onto. And so too is the manifestation stages. It must be something that is rooted. Your vision has to be rooted. Your intention has to be rooted in your consistency. It all has to be rooted in order for it to come out. The same way a tree goes up, it branches out underground. A lot of us can't see it, but the work is still being done. It's not for everybody to see. It's not for everybody to understand. But what they should recognize is that there's a change. They don't have to see it verbatim. They don't have to see it like with the naked eye. They just have to see it, period. If they see it, they can believe it. And if they believe it, they're going to receive it because we live in a world that people have to see things in order to believe it. Meek says, have much faith, be obedient, also know when to stand, wait and watch. Exactly. It's just like a foundation. A foundation has to be solid. It has to be firm. It has to be rooted. It can't be moved. If the only way a tree could be moved if somebody's or nature is doing something so harsh that it sways, like a tree sways, but the roots are not being bothered. It's standing, it's taking all the punishment that it needs to take. We have to be like a tree in our manifestation stages because we can rock, we can sway, but at the end of the day, when it stops, because it will stop, we will still be standing tall because we are rooted in our Trinity, which was, like I said, intention, consistency, and your vision. And when all of those come together, we can still stand there. Take your best punch. I'm not going to fold. I'm still standing, right? Because the manifestation is our goal. It's the end of our race. And when it manifests, it's a blessing. You will be happy, but you will be at peace with, because you finished your race. You fought your fight. And people don't have to know what it is. People don't even got to know why it is. People just going to see what it is. And there's gonna be some upset people, and it does not mean that they're not gonna come after you after the manifestation comes to be, right? Because they don't want everybody else to see it. They don't want you to be happy. They don't want your joy to be expressed to other people. They want you down for the count. But like I always tell everybody, even when you get knocked down, you don't lose because you get knocked down. You lose because you don't get up, right? And winners never quit, and quitters never win, right? So even if there is a stalling in your manifestation stage, stay with it. Stay the course. Stay in line. Keep going, right? Because at the end of the day, there's a victory that you must have in order to finish your race. There must be a victory in order to have your manifestation completed. If you don't have that victory, if you could see the finish line, continue to go towards it. It does not matter if people are running across your track. It doesn't matter if a tree falls on the road. We gonna wait till that tree is removed, and we're gonna keep going forward. Because at the end of the day, what we need to manifest, it must happen. It's not because you're gonna become a failure if it doesn't. It just means that you need to do it because that's the end of your race. Word says something a lot that I never understood. He said, he doesn't have fear of failure. And I'm saying, how could you not have fear of failure? And he would go on to say pretty much that it just, it allows him to keep going forward. In fact, in spite of the fact that fear is not going to stop him. I'm like, how could we do that? We have to learn certain things. And in this manifestation, we have to continue to learn, even if fear is in the way. You have to use it as a extra boost, something else to put in our back to gas ourselves to go forward. Because if we don't, we will be stagnated. And y'all already know how I feel about stagnation. It'll kill dreams. A manifestation is a dream for some people. And in order for it to come true, you must work it to come true. In order for it to be manifest, focus on your path, not that tree. Had been in my life. And sometimes, like we so used to seeing dead end streets and giving up, right? That we in dead end relationships, and we'll turn the car off and hey, how do we get around this? No, we can't stay here too much longer, because if we stay here too long, the manifestations of hope is going to be is dwindling at the same time. It's just like if you stay in traffic. If you stay in traffic long enough, your gas is going to be depleted, and you ain't moved not one step. And now you can't go forward because it's depletion. Word says fear for me is the lack of knowledge. I just figure it out, and that eliminates fear. And that's how we got to do. That's why we have to be consistent in learning. We have to be consistent in understanding. We have to be consistent with a lot of things in order for your manifestation to come to pass. That's why I said consistency is one of the three trees, or one of the trinities, right? Just think of a triangle. You got to have three corners. It's three angles. Boom, boom, boom. And that's one of the angles is consistency. If you are not consistent and you're lackadaisical, your foundation can't even be started, because you're not consistent enough to understand how important your foundation is in your manifestation stages. You have to understand that in order for anything to be, you must have a fertile ground. If you plant a seed, the seed must be in fertile ground, because it needs to feed off it. If you are building a house, you need that foundation to be solid. Any movement of it's crazy. It's amazing how those buildings in California stands the test of time. with those earthquakes, right? Because they understood even back then that we need these things to be solid because something underneath could shake us down for the count. It's just like people that that live in hurricane and tornado infested places, right? You got to understand that everything must be solid up top. The foundation could be there, but if your top is weak, it's gonna fall as well. Everything must be at the same strength. Everything must work together. Your manifestation must work. The stages of manifestation must work together in order for anything to be manifest, right? We have to understand that. If the longer we don't understand it, is the longer we're gonna be on topsy-turvy situations and topsy-turvy scenarios, because we understand that things are not in our favor right now. Gotta have sticks to. Hey, you gotta do all of these things in order for it to work. It was a good person that was, they did a live and they was talking about how something wasn't working for them. And I just kept, and I was in the chat and I kept telling them, listen, you're going to have to step back and step away from some things. And I'm so proud of that person because they was going through so much that they had they may have felt like they didn't have a choice, but once they took that step back, they understood that, hey, I can gather myself now. I'm stepping away from things. That's why a lot of the times I encourage people, if YouTube is too much, take a step back. If social media is too much, take a step back. I have seen some crazy things on this thing this past week, and it has broken my heart, right? I have seen people combat each other on this thing. I have people, tear each other to shreds, and it hurts, right? Because you care about people. I'm talking about us in this chat. Anybody that may be listening on the replay, we are not here to destroy people. We are here to build friendships, communication, relationships. Let's just leave it at relationships. And the fact that somebody was so eager and willing to just destroy it at a drop of a dime because something does not go well at one particular point, it hurts. It sucks. Because we are not half steppers. Well, I'm not I'm speak for me, and I'm speaking for everybody that's here because I have had interactions with you guys, and I believe this is the same for you. Y'all not half steppers. You're not willing to just give some of you. You will give the majority, if not all of you, to people that you are connecting with, right? Intrinsic, right? She's one of those people. She's in a transition right now, meaning she's leaving from one sector to another. It has to be awkward when she first got to this sector. But now that she has surrounded herself with like-minded people, her manifestation of change is coming to pass because there is that person that's gonna, give me that good advice. There is this person over here that's not trying to tear me down, but keep me level, if not encourage me to pick myself up in order or to lift myself up to a higher level. She understands now that the past was not where she needed to be. She's in the present. It doesn't mean she just outgrew that side. You understand? Because her manifestation was like, I want better. And she now sees the other side as not being her best self. She got through those tribulations and trials, and now, she's preparing herself for more trials and tribulation because she's on the other side, because haters are going to hate. When you manifest, the haters are not just going to let you go. That's not how the world works. Hatred is real, right? We talk about mental health is real. We talk about all of those things, but guess what else is real? Hate is real. Sadness is real. Craziness is real. There's a lot of crazy things that's going on out here, right? It's very easy to talk about, the popular people but I'm not a popular person, and I don't care to be. I'd rather be little old me in my little world, trying to encourage people that needs and wants to be encouraged. I don't care about no I mean, it's good to talk about. It's good to be informed, but that should not be the main focus. Is what somebody else is doing, right? As far as those popular people, because at the end of the day, not to say they looking down on us, but they may feel we beneath them. So I want to deal with people that are like-minded people. I want to deal with people that is on my level and a little bit above, because at the end of the day, when you manifest, you need that wisdom from above, as far as intelligent wise, understanding wise, not religion wise, but you need help from above in order to pull you up, right? If you in a hole, you got to look up, right? If you in a ditch, you got to look up. Your help is going to come from above. Your higher self is going to help you get above. We have a higher power. Everybody, likes, God is a higher power, but God is within us. But at the same time, that higher power must lift us up, right? And we have to understand that. So those are all that we have a whole bunch of tools to manifest, but we have to understand that it all must work together, not simultaneously, not like the Trinity, but there's little things that can help us, right? Like an encouraging word from word yesterday could have me in a predicament to be encouraging today. A quick short from Meek may encourage me to be a better me today, right? Intrinsic Live the other day could encourage me to give me the strength to come on out here and do this live today. Atmosphere could be, in the cuts, like bust it, listen, just do A, B, and C, and just let it flow the way it flows. And that could give me the strength and encouragement and the understanding that I can do this today. We all need assistance. We are not, we may have been born alone, but we're not meant to do this all by ourselves, right? If you look at Jesus had to go to Egypt in order to learn, right? And when he came back, he became a better person. It's not that he was by himself. He had help. He had help with his understanding. It wasn't just God giving him everything. God gave you a direction. Go follow your direction. If God gives you something to manifest, follow that rope of manifestation. In order to lead, sometimes you got to be a follower. Well, all the time, you got to be a follower. Sometimes, in order to be a boss, you got to be a worker. Me and Word was just talking about this the other day. In order to be great, you got to be good. And in order to be good, you had to sucker something, intrinsic. I just love you guys, right? Because even with intrinsic, we was talking about, in order to not be weak, we have to work on our weakest parts of our everyday being, right? So, for example, if we have a weakness in our legs, we got to work out our legs so it could become strong. And once it becomes strong, it's no longer our weakest link. You understand? Excuse me. I understand what everybody's saying and I use it to my advantage, right? Because every word that's being said, even if Meek just comes out, Meek can have a live doing hair. But I understand that sometimes the salon is like the barbershop. And if it's like the barbershop, somebody's going to come in there with, a sad situation. And even while you're working, you still can be encouraging. You still you could drop a jewel of manifestation in somebody's life, even while you're at work, right? That's why, like I said earlier, if you're working by day, you still can do the things that you need to do. Because once night comes, no man can work. And that's the thing that we have to understand, like people used to go crazy when somebody going through something, I'll be in the chat. I'll pray for them on the spot. Right. And they like, yo, what's wrong with you? Like, nah, I just felt like they needed somebody to pray with. And I'll go in there and pray with them. Just so people can understand when you manifest something, it's not just, it's for you in the beginning. Right. But when it becomes an abundance of manifestation, you will be able to share with other people, but you must apply it to yourself first. We can't be out here trying to manifest something for somebody way over there because they may not receive it. right? If you pray for somebody way over there, they don't receive it, then what? You just prayed for nothing. People always talking about, hey, you gotta let's they having all these protests now. Let's save Israel, screw the Palestinians, vice versa. But at the end of the day, they gotta understand what they're fighting for. I don't care about if it's a religious thing. I don't care about none of that. The fact that y'all losing life, y'all missing the point because y'all not trying to manifest life. Y'all just trying to manifest selfishness. Y'all worrying about the wrong thing, you know? And because they're manifesting the wrong things, those are the results of manifesting the wrong things. You manifesting chaos. Now you over there fighting. Little kids is losing their lives. Bombs are being dropped on a hospital wards where people are trying to find physical healing, mental healing. But none of that comes to be because there's so much chaos over there. You can't even see the light of day over there. And that's crazy. Meek said, tell that to Amazon who can't work at night. You know what, Meek? It's crazy because they don't give a damn. And that's my point. Because when you become a leader, you ain't really worried about who's doing what. You just weren't. They worrying about the almighty dollar. They manifested dollars. Now you can't tell Bezos nothing. He want to fly. He want to go into space and orbits and all of that other stuff. And that's why we have to understand. We got to get, where go the word again. That's why we got to understand we got to get out of the worker stages and we got to become bosses. If we are boss in our lives, we can be a boss of everything in our lives. We got to have the manifestation of I don't want to be a worker bee. You know, everybody want to be a queen bee. And y'all gave Beyonce the beehive. So y'all made her a queen bee. No, be your own queen bee. Not to where people are worshiping you, but just to say, you know what? I can do this. I can be on top and I could bring somebody with me. Whatever I manifest is working so I could be a queen bee. In order for us to be a boss, we have to manifest the bossness in us, the greatness in us. We have to manifest that. I don't care where you get the motivation from. A lot of people get it from the Bible. A lot of people get it from the Quran, 48 laws of power, whatever. But it's in each and every one of us. The manifestation stages is in each and every one of us. That's the point that we have to understand. It's in us. We got to go into the storehouse and get the things that we need. Just like when you make breakfast, you got to find eggs, you got to find waffles, you got to find orange juice to drink or whatever it is. Put it all together to make it your meal. That's what we got to do to make manifestation come to pass. Our leaders suck. I've been giving them blank stares, but even in that, I've been able to pour into several lives. And that's the thing, I always say, you know me, right? I always say one could win 1,000. But once you win that one, it doesn't mean that you stop. You continue your manifestation. You continue to pour into somebody else. If that one could win 1,000 over there, we still got an area over there. They say there's 4 corners in the world. Let's try to touch all 4 corners. That's why, the word is he is who he is, because at the end of the day, he's trying to make it a better situation for everybody. I'm not just here I'm not just here for the YouTube thing. I'm here because we got to take this motivation from YouTube and apply it to our lives. In other words, they'd say this is not a real world, but people make this a real world. The hatred on this thing is real. They listen, I'm telling y'all, I've seen family members destroy each other on this thing. Like, this is real life. And this is the thing, because at the end of the day, if you could turn this into an everyday situation, if you could apply this into your everyday life, you can win. You can manifest anything that you want on both realms, quote unquote realms. Bro, that's why everyone in the 9 can stand on their own. We all bosses, but together we become a mighty force. And the 9 we trust. And y'all trust each other. And that's the thing. When you manifest the trust that you guys are building over there, right? Because each of y'all are putting an ear to the ground to hear what everybody's saying. How do we make this work together? Selena, how you doing? Good. Yeah, it's morning over where you at still. Good morning, right? And that's the thing. Like, in order for the manifestation to come to pass, there has to be understanding somewhere in it. Right? Selena's she's doing what she needs to do, right? She just came in, but at the end of the day, she's understanding that there's a transition in her life because she manifested that. Listen, I love the kids, but I need to go somewhere else. So she made the vision that her vision is now her new goal, right? Her intent was pure and her consistency now is working. So now that all of it is coming together, she is about to become a new person at a new job and be her same great self because that's what she manifests. She put all those things together and now it's working in her favor. Young Riaz, how are you this evening? Yeah, you on the other side. How are you this evening? And that's the thing that I'm saying. When you put those things together, when you put your consistency, when you put your intent, and when you put the vision, and when you stir it all up, that is what is called manifestation. That's how you get to manifest. You know what I mean? And when you do that, that's why we always tell you, write the vision and make it plain. When it is plain as day that your vision is where you want to be, you will get there. You will get there because when you get, like I said, because there's nothing that's going to stop you. Your consistency, there's nothing that's going to stop you. Your intent is going to get through all the loopholes. It's going to get you through all the little detours. Your all of that is going to work. Your vision is still the same. And that's the thing that we have to understand. Miss T, you understand what I'm saying. You about to manifest something great in your life. Everybody could manifest something great in their life. It's up to you to how far did you want to take this. Gary, I said, Gary, I want to do at 13 years old, but was not able to at the time. The funny thing about that, Riaz, and it's crazy because people don't really understand that, that's when Jesus became great at 13 because he had to go on his own. And like for me, something happened. Like I lost my parents at 13. Well, I lost my mother at 13. So I had to go on out there and be on my own, so to speak. I had to go find what I needed to find at 13. And now that I have it, I'm able to use that pain, that loss, that suffering to manifest something for peace in me and share my story to somebody else. I could manifest that into something positive. Now, how could you do that? That was your mother. No, she's always going to be my mother. She's always going to be in my heart. She's always going to be in my memory. But also, because I lost her, I understand that she will want me to do this because this is what I would do if she was here. The manifestation part doesn't end because somebody is removed from your life. As a matter of fact, it should motivate you to a little bit more because that's what that loved one will want for you to do in their absence. It's just like when somebody passes and they plant a tree. It's the same thing. We just using the memory of somebody, right? A memory is nothing but an emotion that's in our mind and body and soul, right? That's what it is. So because that memory is in that Trinity, we could use it in our Trinity to manifest something in life. Good morning, Queen Motivation. And that's the thing that we need to do. We need to find everything that we need in order to manifest whatever it is that we want to manifest. Because if we don't use what we have, we lose what we got. And we can't afford that at this particular time in our lives. Everybody is not young. Well, except for Riaz. But even Riaz, he's young, but his mind is very mature. It's seasoned, right? Like he's not his age. And he understands he has to be around people that is above him to gain such information, to gain such knowledge. That's why the help always going to come from above. You got to be higher. If you are low, you got to raise yourself to get to where you got to go. You have to, instead of you rising to an occasion, you will soon, when you manifest these things, will be the occasion that people must rise to. It doesn't mean that you have to be afraid of them. It doesn't mean any of that. You just have to be aware that people are going to rise up towards you because now you are the occasion to rise to. You have manifest yourself to be a higher self. You have manifest yourself to be a better self. And there's a lot of haters that's not going to be able to accept that you are higher than them. That's their problem. That's a them problem. It doesn't mean you stop what you need to do. It doesn't mean to pause what you need to do. You continue to do what it is that you need to do. It doesn't matter if it's, helping an old lady across the street. There's somebody going to frown upon that. If you ain't doing something right, you want. If nobody's hating you for doing something that you need to do, you ain't doing something right. And that's the thing that we all understand. We all could agree with that. If we ain't doing something right, if we ain't doing something right, if, there ain't nobody gonna be mad at us. Only the people that sees the potential in you, only the people that sees that greatness in you is only gonna be mad. The haters, they ain't even gonna talk to. I see you doing your thing. I ain't did nothing. What did I do? Oh no, that's why you doing your thing. No. Y'all over there giving out the evil eye because I want to become better. I am manifesting into my greatness. I am uplifting into my greatness. I am becoming someone that y'all don't want me to be. Don't be afraid of me. Be happy for me that I am manifesting into something better. I will help you. But because people are so doubtful that somebody cares about them, they want misery in as company. I'm not here to manifest misery. I'm not here to manifest loneliness. If that's the case, what am I doing this for? Queen Mother, as soon as you learn that people aren't your problem, you're going to rise above everything that's trying to keep you down. And that's what I'm saying, right? Because, my favorite word on here is to grow. A grown person can't grow. You stunt your own growth because you grown. And if you stunt your growth, you could manifest nothing. And that's the thing that I'm saying. As long as you keep putting obstacles in your way, as long as you keep putting people in your way, as long as you keep putting money in your way, the ways of the world in your way, your manifestation powers is going to be very, very limited. It'll spark, but it won't illuminate. And if that's too much for you to understand, I'll tell it to you like this. It's like a flicker of light, right? When you light a match, right? You only got a certain amount of time to light whatever it is that you're trying to light, whether it's a cigarette, whether it's a candle, whether it's that blunt that you want to smoke on. No judgment. I'm just saying it to say this. It has a limited amount of time. The sun has a limited amount of time too, but it's lasted longer than that lighter or that match that you have stripped. You understand the difference? That's the difference. You want to be seen. You want to be at your brightest at all times. Now that the summertime is coming, you're going to see a lot more of the sun than you do in the winter, but you still see the light. It's still going to work, but it's going to be at its highest in the summertime. And that's the thing that we have to envision our manifestation stages at. We have to understand that it may be spurts of certain to come, but once you manifest it and it is seen and it is at its pinnacle, it could be seen longer period of time than when it is blocked by something there's something that is eclipsing your brightness. And that's why I'm trying to tell people, you got to understand what it is that's going on in order to manifest something. If you don't know, it won't grow. That's why OJ got off. If it don't fit, you must have quit. Meaning, if it don't work, let it go. It's not for you. But in order to manifest, everything must work in your favor. Everything. And that's the thing that we have to understand. So, however you get in your motivation, however you get in your wisdom and understanding, like I said, I don't care what it is. If it's leading you on the right path, then so be it. That's why I'm not here to judge somebody that follows Muhammad. I'm not here to judge anybody who's following Jesus Christ. I'm not here to judge anybody to who's following Buddha. I'm not even here if you take all three of them and make it your own. There's no judgment here. The fact that you are on your manifestation stages is what is the most important part. Every one of us here has to understand, in order to grow, you got to be in something fertile. You have to be rooted in something that makes you grow, that allows you to grow and not stunt your growth, not choking out your water, not choking out your light. That's how manifestation goes. Nothing should be in the way of it. And if it is, it's only going to be for a momentary season. That doesn't mean just give up and throw your hands up because it's not going well today. You know, in a war, you got to win. In order to win the war, you got to win a lot of battles. There's some battles that you may not win, but the more battles you win, the more the war is going to come in your way. You know, and that's the thing that we have to understand. We got to keep fighting. Standing 8 counts count because you getting up off the ground. Now, if you groggy, you got to shake it off before that 8 count comes into play. 6, 7, shake it off before 8 because they're gonna stop the fight. You ain't well enough to do it. But if you stand up and you defend yourself as you go back in that ring, you will make it through that round. I don't care if you got to grab a person. They may say it's cheesy. They may say that's cheating. But if you get through that round, you can gather yourself in that little moment. It's 3 minutes in the corner. But when you gather yourself, okay, I see what he did now. Okay, corner, what y'all got to tell me? Hey, keep them guards up. Guard your face, guard your ribs, guard your kidneys, guard whatever it is. And counter with a jab. Keep them away from you. Now, that's what I'm telling you. No one's here by themselves. You need people in order to manifest something. He's trying to manifest a win after being knocked down. And if he do, he wins. If he gathers himself, he might overcome that knockdown in the final decision of it all. And that's how we need to do when it's time to manifest. That's a word, clinch. You got to clinch. Hold on. Hold them down. Last 10 seconds. All right, break. Oh, break. The referee gonna tell you to break. Nah, I'm clinching it until I can't clinch no more. The law says I gotta let go. I'm gonna let go. But when I hear that ding, 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 that round is over, I gotta gather myself before I stand up and go back out there and fight. And that's how we gotta do with the manifestation stages in our life. We can't just keep giving up. Listen, I get it. I get we're under attack. I get that people are trying to put a ball and chain on our ankle so we could sink into the river of abyss. I get all of that, but we also have to understand that we can overcome and be better. We can manifest our greatness in spite of all of that. We could break a chain, break every chain that's holding us back. But it's going to be a fight. The question is, are you willing to fight for your manifestation? And that's the thing that we have to do. When that inner light shines, 2 things happen. It attracts or repels people. It go warm and comfort people or burn them. And that's the thing, Word. You're absolutely right? And you know what? It's just like I tell you people about pointing, right? Like I'm pointing this out to people. I must understand this myself, right? Because as much as I'm talking about it, I have to apply this to myself, and that's what's wrong with a lot of churches. They're preaching to people, but not applying it to themselves. Sometimes we can't just live as the do as I say, not as I do stages. Because at the end of the day, if we're a beacon of light, we have to understand that we're examples as well. And if we ain't doing what we're saying, how are we supposed to believe anything that's being said? If I'm telling y'all how to manifest and I'm not consistent enough, and if I'm not and my intention ain't good, and I don't even have a vision, how could I tell you something that I don't believe in myself? The math ain't mathing. You understand? And that's the thing that we have to understand. So, we got to continue we have to continue. Instead of waiting for the light to enter the room, you be the light in the room. And that's the thing, Queen, right? We can be a light, but what type of light are we being, right? Some people are being lights of chaos instead of light of illumination, right? We could illuminate chaos, but are we illuminating the right way? You see what I mean? Because there are people out here who's willing to not care about nobody's light. They will give you the darkest of light and make it seem like it's the light. You understand? So we gotta understand what type of light that we're going into. Riyadh says, I look the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, teaching and try best to implement. If you apply it to your life and it works, Riyadh, you got to keep going with it. If that's what helps you become a better you, and encouraging you, then you keep going with that. You understand? And that's the thing that we have to understand. We have to understand that everything If you can make the best out of a bad situation, right? I always say this about spades, right? Playing spades. Sometimes you're not gonna get. You may get one book, but you play it out until your hand gets better. They gotta deal you a new hand all the time. So if they deal you a new hand, you gotta be exactly. You gotta play the hand that's given to you. You know. So with that, it's just a lot. It's going to take work, everybody. Nobody ever said that being successful does not take work. And that's why a lot of us, we have so much hatred in us, because it's so much easier to not, it's so much easier not to put an effort into hating, right? Oh, I don't like you because your shoes are green. Who cares? But there are people that's out here like that. Oh, I don't like you because you are so encouraging. Okay, that's a you problem again. But that hate can also build an alliance against you. And that's why we got to continue to manifest protection. We got to manifest, an armor amongst around ourselves, not a wall, because we still need to see. And I'm not standing on top of a wall for people to take shots. I need to see exactly what I'm looking at, right? In order to protect myself. Facts. That be the part many give advice in pails, but receive it in droplets. Confucius, that means us taking our own advice. That's why I practice. So when it's time to use it, I'm ready. And that's what we have to do. You got to continuously understand that you can't just keep talking to other people and not using it for yourself. You understand? Like, if it's your last, that's one thing. That means you unused it enough to have the strength to go forward without it. But a lot of us don't even have the strength to even apply it to us. We just started, and a lot of people just want to go ahead and do what we do. Nah, that's not the case. We got to stop doing that. We gotta build ourselves up to be ready, and then we share. Don't give your blessings away as soon as you get it. That doesn't make any sense. That's why in the Bible that Edom he's crazy, because he was so big he ain't even get to touch his blessing. He gave it up for a morsel. And that's why I tell people, no, you got to understand, you got to use what you got before you say it's good or not. You can't just get it and then just throw it away or give it to somebody else. That's not the way how life goes. And as the faster we understand that, is the faster we can prepare ourselves for something different. And that's the thing that we all need to do going forward. Some people don't even know how to pray properly. Ain't judging, but keeping it real. And that's the thing. If you don't know how to pray, you praying in the mist. That's what they say. And that's what we have to understand. If we don't know how to do something correctly, we are misusing what we have. And a lot of us have done that. And that's fair to say, because everybody has used something incorrectly. We have done something incorrectly. But as long as you get to understand it and use it in its proper format and its proper usage, we all could turn that wrong into a right. And that's another part of manifestation, to learn from your mistakes. If you learn from your mistakes, you no longer know how not to do that anymore. It'll keep you away from the errors of your way. And when you manifesting, it should be very little errors in what you do. But it doesn't mean you're not gonna have an error in it. You are right, Riaz. Faith without works is dead. If you don't have faith, if you got faith in yourself and don't apply it and don't use it to your advantage, it doesn't. It's on the green mile. It's walking the green mile. It means it's dead, bro. That's one of the main reasons I articulate myself in that manner with that situation I was in, to teach others and to learn more of myself. And arrogance play a key role in the blockage of manifestation, right? Because when you arrogant, it's like being grown. Once again, as long as you're grown, you no longer have room for growth. If your sponge is filled, it cannot soak up anything, because it is already it reached its maximum. We have potential to the day that we die, right? But we have to understand that we got a lot more learning to do. That's why, I don't believe in the old dog. It's hard to train an old dog new tricks. I believe if that dog is willing to learn, it can learn at 50, 60, 70, 8. Well, that's the human dog. But the old dog would learn at 13, 14, 15. It can still learn. And that's what we have to understand. As long as you don't stunt your growth, As long as you don't say I'm grown, that is stunting your growth. And if you cannot grow, how could you manifestation takes growth. All of that works together. Everything in life that we're talking about right now, it all works in the manifestation stages. And if you don't believe that, try to stop growing and see what happens. Try to stop learning and see how far it gets you. Because there's always going to be something that there's an unknown out there. And if you're grown, you will never see the unknown coming. That's why you got to be willing to learn. Because the more that you gain, the more wisdom that you gain, the more understanding that you gain, the more that you can manifest in your life. You understand? That's why you need wise people. That's why wise counsel was always sought. That's why a lot of us learn from grandparents and not, a lot of us learn from our parents, but hey, mom, where you get that from? Oh, I got it from grandma. I got it from your grandmother or your grandfather. We seek them. Hey, grandpa, let me ask you this. In order to learn your family history, who do you go to? Do you go to your parents or your grandparents? Right? Don't be like me where you gotta search your aunts and uncles and cousins because everybody the wisdom is gone, and then you got people that didn't care about your family in the life, and now you just scrambling and thinking about learning on your own. Right? It's always good to learn from the elders. That's why elders are always important. That's why we should respect our elders and take care of our elders, because they have given us the keys to manifestation a long time ago. Now we're just applying it. The Bible says, raise a child up to where he cannot be lost. I'm paraphrasing, but it just means if the child knows from his childhood where he got to understand it from, he will always come home. But the home got to be correct. Your house got to be in order. You can't have chaos in the house and expect somebody to come back to it, because nobody wants chaos. Only the people that has no understanding likes chaos. And that's the thing that we have to understand. So with that being said, I thank y'all all for coming through. I truly hope that, these words have made sense to each and every one of y'all, and that you can apply it and see if it works for you. If it works for you, don't thank me. Thanks the information. Use the information, right? And if it don't work, you can at least say that you tried. And that's all that we can do going forward. With that being said, I know the weather's getting warm. I want everybody to enjoy their hump day. If you're on the East Coast and if it's lunchtime for you, go on out there and enjoy your lunch. Go on out there, get some of this vitamin D. It's beautiful. And continue to grow, y'all. Continue to be a blessing. Continue to be encouraging. Continue to manifest things in your life. I'm out.